Now, with so many players becoming stars in today's league, there's plenty that have brothers that have also excelled in the NFL that you never knew about. Now, the Kelsey brothers were born in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, and both played football for Cleveland Heights High School. Travis was a three-sport athlete growing up in basketball and baseball, but of course, he excelled in football and was recognized early on with honors after totaling 2,539 yards of total offense as a senior, where he played multiple positions and collected 1,016 yards rushing, including 10 touchdowns and 1,523 passing yards on 103 of 198 attempts, with 21 scores and 8 interceptions in 2007. Now, Jason also attended Cleveland Heights and played football as a running back and linebacker, but he didn't play nearly as much as his brother. Jason is 2 years older than Travis, so of course he initially went to college in Cincinnati to play for the Bearcats, and after 2 seasons with them, Travis committed to the same school as well to play alongside his brother. Now, while Jason was starting left guard, Travis played tight end and quarterback, and in his last season, Travis set a personal career high in receptions with 45, receiving yards with 722, yards per reception with 16, and 8 receiving touchdowns. And then in March 2012, Kelsey was named winner of the College Football Performance Awards tight end of the year. But Jason was the first of the two to make it professionally, and he was selected by the Philadelphia Eagles in the 6th round of the 2011 NFL Draft, and he's played every season since then with them. And he's even won Run Blockers of the Year according to Pro Football Focus, and during his best statistical season since 2011, he helped lead the Eagles to Super Bowl 52, which they beat the Patriots 41-33. Now, Travis was in fact drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs in the 3rd round of the 2013 NFL Draft, and that year the Chiefs hired Andy Reid as the new head coach during the offseason, which was ironic because Reid was familiar with Kelsey already, and he coached his brother Jason during his time as the head coach of the Eagles beforehand. But Travis quickly emerged as arguably the best tight end in the league. He's made 4 Pro Bowls since 2013, and with Patrick Mahomes emerging as a star in the NFL, Travis is one of the best in the league delivering him the ball, where he excelled last season, breaking over 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 100 receptions. Now, Andy Reid, who coached both of these guys, even spoke about the brothers, saying they're completely different. Travis is a live wire. His brother, he's very stoic. Not that he doesn't have a sense of humor, but they're just completely different guys. But both are very good, big hearts, love to play the game, both are tremendous players. Even recently, the brothers were on ESPN talking about their careers and how family played a huge factor. Travis said, "Family's everything in our household. Being prideful is how I was raised, to make sure that I'm doing things right because I have people to represent back in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. What Jason has done to pave the way for me in college and the NFL is everything to me. I can't tell you how much I love this guy." And Jason replied to Travis saying, "I don't think either of us would be where we are today if we didn't have each other to push and guide us along the way. Being the older brother, you'd think that the younger brother is the one learning everything from the older one, but let me tell you, I learned plenty from Travis, and he turned into quite the player, to say the least." And when it comes to the Gronkowski brothers, they've each had their own coming up stories in different cities. The oldest of the 3 brothers, Dan Gronkowski, was born in Amsterdam, New York, and he attended Williamsville North High School, where he was eventually recruited by Maryland and played for them for almost 4 years until he was drafted by the Lions with the 2nd to last pick in the 2009 NFL Draft. After suffering injuries, he ended up being shopped around by the Broncos, Browns, and eventually played with his youngest brother, Rob, on the Patriots. Chris Gronkowski was born in Buffalo, New York, and he also attended Williamsville North like his brother Dan, but Chris played fullback and linebacker, which ironically also led to him being recruited by the same college his older brother went to. He went to Maryland and went undrafted to the NFL in 2010, but he signed a deal with the Cowboys. Since he didn't get much playing time, he was traded from team to team, and he played for the Colts, Broncos, and Chargers throughout his career before retiring. Now, Rob, on the other hand, was the most successful of the trio, and all started when he was born in Amherst and went to Woodland High in Pittsburgh. He eventually attended Arizona for college, where he began making a name for himself, and he was drafted by the Patriots in the 2nd round of the 2010 NFL Draft. It's argued that Rob had become one of the greatest tight ends in league history while playing alongside Tom Brady and looked unstoppable because of his ridiculous size at the position at times. He won 3 Super Bowls with New England and has over 500 total receptions and nearly 8,000 yards with 79 touchdowns, but eventually retired early despite the fact that he was on pace to shatter all tight end records. When Rob made it clear that he was in fact retiring, his brothers spoke about his career and they congratulated him. His older brother Chris said, "Congrats to my younger bro. I always wanted to get the chance to play with one of my bros at the next level, but the closest I got was playing against the Pats in 2012 while I was with the Broncos. And it's funny, when we were all young, all we did was fight. All 5 bros would fight every day, but as the years went on, the fighting and competition turned into supporting each other. My Sundays aren't going to be as exciting, but I'm sure there's going to be more exciting things to come in the future." And Rob's youngest brother, Glenn, even had something to say to his brother after he retired. Glenn said, "From draft day to retiring a champ, and of course all the craziness in between, living life to the fullest while still working your butt off and dominating on the field, we're all going to miss Gronk spikes on Sunday. Congrats again to the best to ever do it." Now with Cam becoming a trending topic in today's league, he's also had a brother Cecil who's been in the NFL. But it all started when the Newtons were born in Savannah, Georgia and grew up playing football together. But when it came to organized teams, the 3-year age difference separated them for most of the time. Cam made a huge name for himself in high school when he attended Westlake High School in Atlanta, Georgia, and he played for the Westlake Lions. As a 16-year-old junior, he passed for 2,500 yards and 23 touchdowns, and he ran for 638 yards and 9 touchdowns, gaining attention from major college programs. During his senior year, Newton was rated a 5-star prospect, the #2 dual-threat quarterback in the nation, and 28th best player overall, where he went on to receive scholarship offers from Florida, Georgia, Maryland, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, and Virginia Tech, but he eventually committed to the University of Florida at the very beginning of his senior year. Cam showed promise at Florida, but because of the controversies, eventually transferred, and while playing with Auburn, he became a superstar, even winning a Heisman Trophy, throwing nearly 3,000 yards, 30 passing touchdowns, and even ran for over 1,400 yards while rushing for 20 touchdowns as well, and of course, won the 2010 National Championship. So it's no surprise that he was immediately drafted to the NFL in 2011 with the first pick by the Panthers. But his brother Cecil had it different. He wasn't as big of a sensation as his brother, but he eventually attended Tennessee State, and even though Cecil went undrafted, he signed with the Jaguars anyways, but only played in a select few games with the Jaguars, Saints, Packers, and Ravens throughout his career. But Cam and Cecil's father, Cecil Sr., sat down and talked about the two sons, and he said, "Cam started playing football at age 7. I introduced him to the game, but he was not reluctant at all. He showed eagerness to learn the game and get better from the start. No one can define where a kid's going to land at 10, 11, 12 years of age. Just because you run a lot of touchdowns in high school doesn't mean you're going to be able to do that at the college level." And when their father was asked if he helped coach his sons growing up, he said, "I didn't coach them. I decided not to. I spent a lot of time coaching them at the kitchen table and in the den. I wanted them to be able to take instructions from people. A lot of dads coach their sons emotionally, which doesn't always work." And he also spoke about Cam's career specifically and said, "Cam at this point is like catching lightning in a bottle type of star. From the outside world, and for Cam, it's about longevity. He has to continue to hone his craft and continue to play from the neck up." Now, of all the brothers on this list, the McCordys are definitely the most inspirational to say the least. Both Devin and Jason McCurdy grew up in Montvale, New Jersey, and they played football for St. Joseph Regional High School. And the twins both played cornerback and a bit of safety. Devin McCurdy received only one scholarship from the Rutgers, and while there, he appeared in all 13 games as a freshman in 2006 and recorded 38 tackles with 2 interceptions. In 2007, Devin and his twin brother Jason began starting at cornerback, and in 2008, Devin started 13 games at cornerback, picking up 57 tackles, 1 interception, and a blocked punt. And in Devin's final season at Rutgers in 2009, Devin started 13 games at cornerback again, and he had a career-high 80 tackles and also recorded 1 interception and 10 pass deflections. While Jason McCurdy started 3 years as a cornerback for Rutgers, he too had a standout career of his own, ending with 148 tackles and 2 interceptions. Now eventually the Tennessee Titans took Jason McCurdy in the 6th round of the 2009 NFL Draft, and his brother Devin was selected with the 27th pick in the 1st round of the 2010 NFL Draft by the Patriots, where he instantly signed a 5-year, $10 million contract. And since being drafted in 2010, Devin is 3-1 in the Super Bowl, and he's made tremendous plays throughout years worth of playoff runs, including a game-ending pick 6 and many forced fumbles. But on the other hand, Jason played with the Titans on and off, battling injury until 2017, when he looked to finally make a return, signing a 2-year, $6 million deal with the Browns, which unfortunately ended up not lasting either. Now finally in 2018, the Patriots traded the 6th round pick to the Browns for Jason, and it ended up paying off with the chemistry of his twin brother Devin playing alongside him. Jason helped the Patriots win Super Bowl 53 in the 3rd quarter with the Patriots leading 3-0. McCurdy broke up a pass in the end zone to the Rams receiver Brandon Cooks, which prevented a huge touchdown, and after the game, Patriots head coach Bill Belichick called the play huge. The twins were the first pair of twins to ever play with each other in a Super Bowl, and after that win, Jason said, "There's so many great players who have been around and played against that never get this opportunity. I was one of them. I get it. So I'm not going to take any of this for granted." But little did you know, the brothers had struggles they dealt with their entire lives. And Devin came out recently and spoke about growing up saying, "Sickle cell disease affected us at a young age because my father carried the trait. I remember we took a blood test at 5 years old to see if we carried the trait as well, and it was a relief when we found out that we didn't. That didn't end the journey with sickle cell because both our aunt and uncle have the disease." Jason as well talked about this, saying, "Growing up, we were very close with our aunt Winifred, and she battles with the disease daily, going through many trials and tribulations. Her passion to keep fighting through everything that comes her way has driven us to make a difference and draw awareness to this terrible disease. This is something that's very personal to us, and we can't wait to get started. We're thrilled to be working with Embrace Kids Foundation." Jason and Devin's mom spoke about their sons and overcoming their father's passing at a young age, and she said, "If you're raising boys who want to play sports, you have to be tough. I was very strict, and I kind of chose their friends. I never had to go to a police station to pick up my kids because I think they'd just say, 'Oh no, leave me here. I don't want to go home with her.'" She also spoke about making the trip to the most recent Super Bowl, and she said, "I'm so grateful because I get to see them live out their dream. I didn't tell my sons this, but I did tell their wives. If they win the Super Bowl together, I'm gonna go grab out some confetti and just lay on the field and do an angel. Now, with Odell being a one-of-a-kind player in today's NFL, he's actually had a lot of stories surrounding his life that you completely missed out on. With him growing up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, he attended Isidore Newman School, where he eventually became a letterman in football, basketball, and track. But in football, he played wide receiver, quarterback, running back, and cornerback for the Greenies football team. And as a junior, he caught 45 passes for 743 yards and 10 touchdowns, while also adding 3 more scores on the ground. As a senior, he hauled in 50 catches for 1,010 yards and 19 touchdowns, joining Cooper Manning as the only 2 players in school history to record 1,000 receiving yards in a season. In addition, he rushed for 331 yards and 6 touchdowns, passed for 90 yards and a score, and also averaged 30 yards per punt return. And as a standout track and field athlete, Beckham followed in his mother's footsteps to excel in the sprinting and jumping events while in Newman High, where he took silver in the long jump event at the 2010 Newman Invitational with a career best leap of 6.83 meters. But with Odell combining all the skills he accumulated playing so many sports, it makes sense why his athletic ability today is unmatched. Now, ever since Odell was drafted back in 2014 by New York, he instantly became a mainstream sensation because of his one-of-a-kind hairstyle and ridiculous athletic ability, making legendary catches like few, if any, before him. Being a premier receiver in the league led to him becoming the highest paid wideout in the entire league before being traded to the Cleveland Browns, with him signing such a ridiculous contract worth $95 million. Now, he of course cashed out on ridiculous cars like Rolls Royces, where we even see him picking up his brother Cordell from school, gaining some attention, and he's also an upcoming football player of his own in high school. Interestingly enough, there's even been an instance that was filmed and put on Twitter captioned "Meet the Bro Today" of Odell, seeing a lookalike of him in the crowd, and another who addressed the situation on TMZ. Hey bro, come here. What are you doing? Click on this video. No, seriously, dude, click on this video. Russell Wilson has blown ridiculous money on ridiculous things. Just click on the video, dude. You know you want to. I want to. Let's go watch the video together. Come on, bro. Come on.